walking you through how I've taken or edited this picture from this to this. So before and after. All right, so to get started, the first thing I always do is frequency separation. So for people that don't know, frequency separation is separating the picture into two layers. You've got the high layer and you've got the low layer. The high layer contains all the textures and the low layer contains the skin tone. So for my first edit, I like working on the eye layer, and that is just getting rid of the spots and the blemishes on the face. So you can see she's got some spots on her cheeks, some on the head, and around the nose area. So I've just used the clone stamp tool. You can click on S or clone stamp tool. Just clone areas, get sample areas on the face, and just use that to clone the areas where you've got a spot. And that's just it. So before, after. Then the next thing is to try to work on the skin tone. To work on the skin tones now, I use dodge and burn. For people that don't know what dodge and burn is, it's just again you're working on the highlights and the shadows. So burn is just trying to add more shadows, and dodge is trying to add more highlights. So if we look at this model's face now, the makeup is really good, but you can still see she's got some dark patches around the head area, some around the mouth area, and even the cheekbone area. So I've just used dodge and burn to try and clear that. So you can see before, after, before, after. That just defines the facial structure properly as well. And she's still got some dark spots around the neck and around the chest area. So I've created a second dodge and burn layer to try and work on that. Then after that, I've just done a stamp visible layer. And the reason for that is because I'll be making a second frequency separation layer. And the reason for this is because when you work with dodge and burn, if we can zoom into this, you can see she's still got some dark spots around the neck and around the chest. And the reason is because you're working with a fine brush trying to correct areas. I mean, you can edit for hours, you can correct it with dodge and burn, but you're going to be spending quite a lot of time on it. This picture took me about 3 hours to edit. So just to make it quicker, I've just used frequency separation. And for the second frequency separation, we're working on the low layer. So I've just used the mixer brush tool, and I've gone with the mixer brush tool to try and mix the highlights, some areas around the transitions between the highlights and the shadows, just to make it smoother. So if I turn that back on, you can see what the result is. Really, really good. I don't like using Gaussian blur. That's just doesn't look that good. I don't. It's not for me. It doesn't look good. I don't like the look at all. So I like using the mixer brush tool. Then the next thing now is taking the picture into Camera Raw to try and correct the colors. I do all my color editing in Camera Raw to get colors anyways. So I've used the curves, and I've used the hue, saturation, and luminance tools in the Camera Raw. So that's all I've done here to try and get the colors. But then the picture is looking a little bit too red. So I've used a black and white gradient map, change the blending mode to multiply, and I've reduced the opacity to 9%. So that just converts the red to black, and it adds a little bit more contrast to the picture. So then the picture starts looking way too red, so I have to cool the picture down a little bit. So I've used the color balancing tool. So on the midtones, I've taken out a slight bit of red, and on the highlights, I've added a little bit more blues to it, and that's just all I've done there. Nothing major. Then I've refined that again using the selective color, gone to the red channel, added a bit more cyan to it, and gone to the blacks, increase the blacks as well. So that's just it before, after. And then the next thing is to try and brighten the eyes and somewhere around the teeth as well. So I've used this tool or this action I got from this photographer called Prince Mason. He's got videos on Instagram and videos on YouTube, and he's a really, really good photographer from Lagos. His pictures are amazing. You can check him out. I'll put the link to his channel in the description below. He's really, really good. So he's got this action called eyes and teeth whitening. Their actions, they're not I can do it manually, but actions just make your workflow quicker. So for the eyes and teeth whitening action, we've just got a blue filter, a white and black layer, and the curve adjustment layer. So both of them clip to the white layer. So you just got the brush tool and just paint it around the eyes, just to brighten the eyes. So you can see the before, after. No, nothing major. You can always control the blues depending on the picture. Then to make the makeup pop a little bit more on the cheekbones, the collarbones, and somewhere around the forehead, I've done the third dodge and bone, but this is mainly working on the dodge, a slight bit of bone as well, but mainly working on the highlight to try and pop the highlight. So before, after, you can see I've worked on the lips, the nose, just makes the makeup pop a little bit more. Then for me, the picture still looks a little bit too warm. I mean, you can leave the pictures like that, but for me, it looks a bit too warm. Actually, so I've used a second photo filter. So I've used the blue, reduce the gradient density to 14, and reduce the opacity to 46%. That just works for me. I mean, you can always choose depending on the picture you're working on. You can always mess around with that to get the best color. Then the picture, the skin tone looks a bit reddish. So I've got this color preset that I'm working on. I'll be releasing them soon. That just converts the red to black to get the dark skin melanin tones. So if I turn that on, you can see that just converts the red to black, and you can get that melanin rich tones popping out now. See before and the after. It's very subtle, but you can still see it. It's just really rich dark skin tone. Then after doing all my edits, I realized that the picture is starting to lose depth. So I've used the curves adjustment layer, and all I've done there is just pull the shadows in slightly and increase the highlight. That just create a little bit more contrast. You're separating the shadows and the highlight a little bit more. And that's just it, before, after. And yeah, we're done. So if I go back to the beginning, you can see where we got the picture from. From that was the before, and that's the after. Like I said again, the makeup was really good. You can check the makeup artist out on Instagram. The makeup itself was really good. So if you want me to release more videos like this, kindly put a comment down below. And if you want me to put a step-by-step guide on how to do frequency separation or dodge and burn, or if you want me to release a full tutorial on how I've done this and you can edit with me, it's going to be a long video, but put the comments down as well, and I'll try to make the videos. That's it for today, guys. Thanks a lot for watching the video. If you like the video, kindly give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more content like this, follow my channel and click the bell notification. Thank you.